Hi guys, I am here with tonight's story from our book, When God Winks at You. These are true short stories, remember? This one is called A Tale of Two Berries, as in two men's names, not berries as fruit. So let's begin. Joe and Percy Lyman were brothers, very close brothers, Nozier.
Huh?
No,
What?
what you said. They enjoyed family holidays and vacations together. They went into business together, growing a small butcher shop into a robust supermarket in Harlem, a desirable area in Manhattan in those days. Their wives each gave birth to a daughter and then a son. The boys, born 1 year apart, were both named Barry after a favored grandfather. Barry Hugh and Barry Saul regularly played together, and they both became best of friends until Barry Hugh was 10. His father died suddenly in his 40s. Within a short time, Barry Saul's father died too. They say of a broken heart. Yet as close as the fathers were, the mothers were not. The families quickly drifted apart, ceasing all communications between the two Barrys. 40 years passed. Barry Hugh grew up to become a highly successful entrepreneur, the president of an electronics corporation. By his 50th year, he had developed an expensive hobby, a keen interest in buying and selling antique British cars. Though he lived in Vermont, Barry had a friend named Tom, who owned a classic car restoration company in New Jersey. He bought and sold several British cars in dealings with Tom and tried to visit the shop whenever he was in the area. One day, Barry walked into Tom's showroom, specifically thinking about a vintage Morgan. "Why are you thinking about a Morgan now?" asked Tom, with a trace of annoyance. "You told me on the plane you were interested in an Austin Healey. I advertised in the paper." "I beg your pardon? I didn't call you," said Barry. "I don't get it," continued Tom. "You phoned me about the ad, and every time I asked you a personal question, you said I have no idea who you are." As the penny began to drop, Barry slowly shook his head. Could it be, he wondered, that his long-lost cousin Barry Lyman had telephoned Tom, and that he was also a collector of classic cars made in Britain? Barry laughed and gave Tom an explanation. Fortunately, the dealer still had the other Barry's number, and within moments the other Barrys were on the phone, talking and laughing, arranging a lunch appointment for the next day. Talk about God winks. Both arrived at the restaurant driving the same model Mercedes. Both wore blue blazers, khakis, and a blue shirt. And both had an unusual watch on their wrists. Exact same one. It was a wonderful reunion, catching up on 40 years lost. Barry Hugh learned that Barry Saul was also an entrepreneur, but in real estate management, and both men had arranged early retirement. Barry Hugh retired at 50, and Barry Saul would retire at 53. Nowadays, that two Barrys live 6 houses apart in Delray Beach, Florida, and play golf a couple times a week. Once again, they are closest of friends, and always will be. They'll never be apart again. Isn't that something? When you're meant to be together, God will make sure you're together. Whether it's in one day, or whether it's 40 or 50 years later, you'll be brought back together, just like these Barrys were. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's story, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Good night, guys. God bless.
That was interesting.
You like that?
Yeah.